be here today with all of you lovely pupils at College Anatole Le Braz. I have decided to accept your request, as I think it is my duty as the Queen of the United Kingdom to promote the British culture, even in the strangest towns of Britanny. And now, I will gladly answer any question you may wish to ask. Please, do proceed.
Your Majesty, who do you think will be the next Queen of England? Is there any grandchild will take the role?
I think Prince Charles is entitled to the throne, but I am not sure whether he will reign over England one day.
Your Majesty, your role as a queen is not a part-time job. Do you have a free time for yourself and your hobbies?
I try to spend as much time as possible with him, but I am very busy. As you know, my duty as a queen takes me a lot of time.
Madam, I think you are not always living in Buckingham Palace. Could you tell us where you spend your children?
I spent most of my childhood in the residence of my maternal grandparent in London.
Your Majesty, don't you think your job takes over your private life?
I think that it is not a job, it is a way of life.
Your Majesty,
Having been at the throne at an early age,
How do you feel about having been a queen so young? And don't you regret not having spent time and learning different languages?
I'll understand your president at least better than when he speaks English.
Your Majesty, how do you feel about having been a queen so young, and don't you regret not having spent time and now learning different languages?
I don't regret having been thrown at a young age because, unfortunately, j'ai pas de peu de francaise, mais j'ai compris bien quand votre président parle Otterskas, bien quand il parle francaise, Holland.
Madam, don't you ever regret being so busy as a queen? Don't you think Your Majesty has but lived for her people only?
Oh no, it's amazing and great. I like seeing my family and reigning over the kingdom. For me, it's not a job. It's with pleasure that I reign over England, even if there is some inconvenience sometimes.
Your Majesty, your job as a queen implies traveling a lot. Does Your Majesty imagine having life without meeting so many different cultures and people?
Yes, it's rather pleasant, you know, even if sometimes it is rather annoying to have to, once arrived somewhere, leave at once.
Your Majesty is famous for having a festival fashion apparel. How will you describe your style?
My clothing style, I like the lively colors joyful image. I also like matching my dresses with my hats and with my shoes. I find that amusing.
Your Majesty, your schedule makes you very busy. It seems to be very difficult. How does Your Majesty handle such a busy life?
Yes, it's true. It's very, very difficult sometimes because I can't be everywhere, so I can't take care of everything at the same time.
Your Majesty, you were in the army during the Second World War. How do you feel about this period of your life?
Oh yes, it was very amazing over there. I liked being in the army a lot, but it was a very tough time.
Madam, what would you like your legacy to be? How would your Majesty like to be remembered?
What I want most is people to stay by my side as long as possible as loyal subjects to monarchy.
Your Majesty, do you think your father was influenced you when?
My father was King George VI, and I loved him both as a father and a king.
Madam, where were you born and who or where you went to give birth to your first child?
I was born in Mayfair. I was 22 years old when Charles was born.
Your Majesty, as my friend already stated, you are a very busy queen. Do you have the time for yourself? What do you do on weekends?
During my spare time, I see my family, but I also answer letters I receive daily, and I take care of myself too. Oh, can you see the little gifts I receive?
Madam, have you got time to see your family and especially your grandchildren?
Well, it depends on my royal obligations, but when I can, yes, I often see them.
Your Majesty, isn't it too difficult to be like a queen every day?
Naturally, that is hard. We do not act ourselves as queen overnight.
Madam, for how long have you been a queen, and how have you learned your job?
I have been the Queen of England since February the 6th, 1952. You know, when I was a young girl. I did a training course to be a queen later.
Your Majesty, we do all thanks you kindly having expected to come to us. This day will be remembered and told to our children and grandchildren.
I thank you very much for your attending this interview and asking so meaningful questions. I hope I gave you the answers you were waiting for and that you will remember this day as the milestone of your learning English. Now I must return to Buckingham and say au revoir.